Alrighty, welcome back everyone to the Player Zone YouTube channel. Bit of a different episode today, joined by Flynn today, and we're chatting all things Premier League, relegation battles, top four race, European race, and we even squeezed a bit of the title stuff in there as well. Really looking forward to this sort of different special episode. How you today, mate?
Yeah, mate, I'm good. It's an honour to be here. It's an honour. I mean, I know you had already recorded an episode with a guest before, but that one didn't end up being live. It's a privilege to be the first. Am I close enough?
Yeah, no, definitely. You're good.
It's a privilege to be the first because obviously once you blow up, then I can look back and think.
You got the clout there, don't you?
I kicked it off.
Yeah.
Hopefully today.
That's the claim. That's the right, isn't it?
Hopefully today goes well, and you know me, I can always chat about this stuff for hours, and
definitely
wouldn't mind a beer in hand doing this.
But just a pub setting, eh?
But yeah.
It's been it's been a great Prem season so far. I was talking to Antonio, one of our other mates, and just how throughout the year we've had a title race, which we haven't had a good one in 3 or 4 years. A top four race, which has been consistent, and the relegation, which probably started with today. It's been crazy, hasn't it? It's been sort of 5 or 6 teams, isn't it?
Yeah, relegation is. I was thinking on the way here and a little bit before about like, you have teams like Everton and Leicester down there. I mean. And even like Nottingham Forest is in 17th at the moment after heaps of investment. Yeah. Like, it's showing you how competitive the league is nowadays, one, but it's also like, you know, looking at teams like Everton and Leicester, you just don't feel like they should be in that position. I mean, obviously Everton have a bit of investment recently. Yeah. And Leicester, I mean, look, you know, the win of the Prem was a fluke, but you can't imagine to see any Prem winning team down in these areas, at least.
Basically, it's been less than 10 years since they won a Premier League, and you talk about, I guess, those big teams, but like a lot of pressure before we get into depth of it. Like on ownership as well. You look at Nottingham Forest; they've spent the cash. Everton, their fans are turning on their owners, and you look at Leicester, and they've spent so well the last few years, and recently the loss of Kasper Schmeichel and those sort of leaders in the team. You think, have the owners done the right thing there as well?
I mean, look, Leicester's owner unfortunately passed away not many years ago, and I think in terms of a well-run club, historically they've been really well-run, but maybe in the past few years they haven't seen the investment trying to replace players who've left. Definitely. Like obviously Vardy's getting on now, Schmeichel left, and you know Iverson and Ward replacing Schmeichel can be a pretty big deal. Neither have really seemed to fit in, gel, and look, that sort of just resembles the way Leicester's sort of gone this year, I guess. Like Yuri Tillemans has found a bit of form in the last few weeks, and James Maddison puts up numbers, but they just can't seem to get going. I was looking at their form; like they've got 8 or 5 points in their last 11 games or something. It's been grim. Yeah. And then on that, like obviously Everton, Southampton are obviously looking like they're done. Even despite finding some form under the new manager, I forget his name, but they've looked pretty good since he's come in. Yeah. But then Everton, who are sitting in 19th, big game tonight, Everton versus Leicester. Huge, but they're looking like It feels surreal seeing a club that not so long ago. Yeah. You know, we're talking European football.
Oldest club in England. It's got prestige. The ground's old. It's got that sort of aura about it. And when you go there, as both fans of top four clubs, I can't imagine not going there in a season and not being nervous. I remember sitting at an airport in London watching the United game at Everton and just being, you know, shocked as how good they play. Yeah. And they play these sort of 30, 40 minutes of great football. Then you get them sitting down here now at bottom half and in the relegation zone. So
strong fan base through Everton. Like they're pretty global. Like being here in Perth, I know a couple of Everton fans, which is more than most clubs. Like it is crazy seeing them down there. But we'll see what we think will happen to them. By game week 38.
We'll jump into it, I guess. I've sort of got started here at West Ham, so the magic number seems to be 35 points this year. A bit higher than recent years, just shows how level the Prem's been
35, you reckon? I'm starting to look right now. Okay. Interesting.
So West Ham basically are there.
Yep. Found a bit of form recently.
Yeah, I look back at it and I remember listening to the Ben Foster podcast and he was saying that 3 or 4 weeks ago that David Moyes' job was on the line. Yeah. Like they're struggling in Europe. They got through in the end, but there was a point in time where there was a game there they had to win it basically for him to stay in a job. And since then, I think they've kicked on a bit of form. You look at Paqueta, Declan Rice, they both found form. They're vital in that team.
Paqueta's definitely found a bit of form recently. Like, I was looking at him in the first half against Arsenal when West Ham were like diabolical. I mean, I was looking at the game, I was tweeting like, this is so easy. Came back to bite me, but and he was having a shocker first half. But then I guess like literally since then he's gone on. He had a couple of goal involvements and he started to find some form. Scored I think midweek. And look, he's sort of starting to justify that 70 mil price tag. He was expensive.
The price of the market, really.
But yeah, look, I agree. So West Ham is safe for me.
I think you see the form, and I the only thing you could be worried about is Europe. They're in a semi-final of a European tie, but I just think with some of the play, like you can't see a team with the likes of Fabianski, Paqueta, Rice, Bowen, Antonio, or Scamacca, all these players going down. I think they've got enough depth, enough players and positions to stay up. So I think we both sort of agree there.
Yeah, I mean, my one thing with West Ham is not even necessarily if they can stay up this year, which looks like they will.
Yeah,
that'd be good in itself, but I think they're going to require quite a bit more investment next year. Like it looks like Declan Rice is definitely leaving. Yeah. You know, hopefully to one of us too. Big Arsenal fan over here and United fan.
Yeah, one of the big ones.
But yeah, like I feel like they might need a bit of rejuvenation in their squad, but it looks like they'll be there this year.
I guess just quickly to finish them off, is David Moyes, I guess, the answer going forward? You know, a lot of pressure on him midway through the season. It hasn't really worked out his style of football, and it seems in recent years, especially with West Ham, had 2 different spells now. It gets them to a spot where they get into European football, then from there it seems to nose bomb.
Yeah, maybe it was a combination of like their squad not being big enough to handle the challenges that come with playing in multiple different competitions. But Mikel Antonio hasn't been the same player this year. Even like Vladimir Soufal and Thomas Souček haven't been the same players. Like Souček obviously was really amazing, like scoring week in, week out when he first came. But look, it doesn't look like they're gonna do much this year. Hopefully, but that looks like they'll be staying up.
Yeah, we read that one there. Obviously, some big games on the head. Crystal Palace tonight, and also the Manchester sides, along with Brentford as well. So some tough games in there. But I just think if they can get a win and a draw, maybe 4 or 5 points, I reckon they'll be really safe.
So where are they sitting right now? Sorry,
they're currently 15th. So
they're 15th. So we're backing in.
We're backing in
Chelsea. We're backing in Chelsea. We'll get to Chelsea. But Palace, Wolves, and Bournemouth, you've got definitely staying.
I think at the moment, Palace under Hodgson, incredible. Wolves under Lopetegui.
Bournemouth been good as well under I forget his name.
The new manager. O'Neill? Neil?
O'Neill. Yeah. I forget. Something like
that. I just remember that game. I think this really tests my memory, but away to Forest early on in his management, and they got a big win.
Gary O'Neill.
And at that point in time, I was looking at Bournemouth thinking this is a make or break game. Forest all year been up and down. I'll get them later, but there was that turning point there where they won that game. I think from there on they sort of kicked on, and I think they're pretty much safe from where they are. So I think we're trusting in those ones above West Ham there. I'm looking at 16th. Leeds.
So, Leeds. Have you got their fixtures there?
I've
They've got a tough run, I think.
It's a tough run. A few of these bottom half teams do. So they've got Leicester on the weekend, and then a massive 6-pointer against Bournemouth. When you think about it, and then you got top 4 teams like Man City, Newcastle as well, West Ham, who by then do we know if they're safe or not? You know, up to be seen.
Like if they're on the beach or not. This is definitely a factor.
I've talked about the sort of mid-table teams have sort of given away the likes of Brentford and but then they finish year hosting Tottenham, who you never know, they could be playing for a Champions League spot. You know, we'll get on that later on, but Tottenham is sort of here, there. So a tough few games, definitely some 3 top 4 teams in there. But I guess coming on the back of the 5-1 loss to Palace, the 6-1 to Liverpool, Javi Gus, he has not really done much at Leeds since taking over. I guess you look at the likes of Winston McKennie in that midfield there. At the start when he first came in, he was a revelation, but
hasn't really been started since.
Hasn't kicked on. He's been missing at times, I guess, for them. So any thoughts on Leeds there?
So look, I'm just going to say, I've got Leeds going down. I've got Leeds in 18th, which means obviously one of the ones in the relegation zone are staying up at the moment for me. But I just think that despite Leeds performing reasonably well against their sort of relegation competition, they've actually picked up results recently against those sort of teams. Their fixtures look really, really tough. They're versing Bournemouth away, which is a pretty big game, but as we said, Gary O'Neill's got them playing, and I'd probably see Bournemouth getting a result in that one. And then City, Newcastle, West Ham and Spurs. And that is just such a tough run.
It's a tough run, but I disagree on that. But I think Leeds, you look last year, that final day away to Brentford, they got it done. I just think Leeds have enough there, like Somerville up top there. He's lost his form, but I think someone like those, like a Bamford, I can just see them staying up. Like, obviously, they're going to require 2 wins, basically, which I think Bournemouth are gettable. So it's going to be tough.
I think if they're going to set up, they need to get a result. Bournemouth 100%, and hopefully
that's a game-changing game for them.
Hopefully for them, maybe Bournemouth have like sort of wrapped it up and are thinking, we're good here. Yeah. But I mean,
West Ham could be another game that could get sort of a point or 3 points there, and then I guess it depends on how strong those top 4 teams are going for at the end.
I think it really depends on where those teams are. Like as in, so if West Ham going to lose every game, for example, now, and suddenly become in a relegation battle, then that suddenly becomes a must.
That could be the 17th, 18th decider. Sorry,
or as we said, Spurs. Like if they're in top, or if they're well and truly out of top 4 by then, and they're all planning their holidays to the Mediterranean, then you think maybe they can get a result there. But I think the way the season will play out, I can't see Leeds getting more than maybe 4 points at best, which 4 points probably keeps them up. But like I think that's best case scenario. And look, having not done perfect math, I can't see them getting enough points between now and then to start.
And I guess the fixture list is the big thing for Leeds because their form's fallen away. So whereas other teams can rely on sort of a few teams are sort of facing each other down the bottom end, Leeds only really have that Bournemouth game to try and convert, and Bournemouth are above them at the moment. There's no team they're playing below them, so I think
goal difference might play a factor too. Just because there's one team in the bottom 3 right now which has a significantly better goal difference, and I might think that helps them stay up. So
so a bit of a disagreement there, but I definitely.
So you've got them. Where have you got them finishing?
I've got them
just safe. You got them safe.
Like just.
You got them 17th. 16th. So where they are now, or 17th.
Or 17th. Okay. So I just see them getting some points. I think them getting a point at West Ham. I'm hoping. I think they're going to get 3 points at Bournemouth, and then I'm finding them another draw somewhere, like a Tottenham game at the final day of the season.
Honestly, I think if they get those 4 points, they stay up. I think they stay up, but yeah, we'll see.
Ideally, you want 2 wins and 6 points in the safe. But
6 points will be right.
It's going to be hard work for them. I can say that definitely. Looking further down, Nottingham Forest. Right now,
scary 17th place, pretty scary spot.
Just outside after. I was still into the highlights, but a rampant 3-1 win against Brighton.
Massive,
humongous win. Are flying at the moment.
I'll touch on them soon.
Yeah. Their most successful, as a United fan, watched the FA Cup final. Yeah. The better team that the whole game. They play awesome football, managed by Deserve so well. Yeah. And the fact they got that, I know Brighton have come off a final and probably a bit flat.
Maybe they're a little bit almost like on the beach.
Yeah,
we'll see.
But they get the 3 points as massive. So it's got them out by only a point at the moment. They're outside
massive win.
The bottom 3. So that could come big in later in the run.
Yeah.
Got the fixture list coming up here. So again, another one of those teams, Brentford on the weekend. One of those teams like
Brentford,
Brighton,
really tough team.
Good in their day, right?
Having a really good season. So I think they've dropped off a little bit recently, but it's still Brentford who are having a.
They don't lose at home, Brentford, so they're a strong team. They got their away to Southampton, away to home to Southampton, away to Chelsea.
Significant.
But I mentioned that afterwards. The home games, I feel that's their chance. That's where they got to get their 3 points. And
I think, as you said, finding a bit of form. It all seems to be coming together at the moment for Forest. Nice couple of fixtures with Southampton at home, which is probably once again a must win for them to stay up.
That's a 6 pointer.
And then they end last day of the season. They have Palace away, which is a more favourable game. Put it like that to end the season on.
I guess, but they're also hosting Arsenal and they're away to Chelsea. Chelsea desperately needs something.
Yeah, see, I mean,
I can't see them getting anything out of those 2 games realistically.
You think so on paper?
Yeah.
You think Arsenal definitely probably get on top of them, but Chelsea is so bad. I wouldn't even be surprised if they get a point away there, for example. But besides
that's a key discriminator for me because I do have them going down Forest.
You got Forest in 18th?
I've got them sitting in 18th.
Okay.
Sitting there
by the end of the season.
I surprised myself, but looking at it, I was like, I don't see them beating Chelsea. For some, I don't know. I've been not believing in Chelsea, but I'm thinking they're going to turn around eventually.
So who have you got in 16th then?
I've
got Leeds in 16th.
I've got Leeds sitting just out and safe.
Okay. And then someone comes in. Okay.
And then my 2 teams at the bottom. Even the one that I've got second last, I reckon you'll be surprised as well.
Okay. You think? Okay, I know.
I've
gone
a little bit different.
Going.
But I just see, other than if they don't get 3 points of the Southampton game, that's right on the wall.
There looks to be games for each team in this sort of zone, which are like make or breaks. And that always comes down to the situation.
It comes down, and this time of season, the fact that it's still there is exciting.
Just one thing on Forest, I think if they do go down, I think they could be in a lot of strife with the amount of investment they put in this year. Like, it seems to be that teams who do this, who invest a lot and go back down, take a while to rebuild. And look, they've signed Steve Cooper for 3 years. I think they did that about middle of the year. They have such a massive squad and such a new, like, heaps of new players in. There was always that sort of, media around whether they'll gel or not. And look, I think if they stay up, they might actually overperform next year. Because another year under Cooper, squad's more gelled. They could really get going, but it's a crucial last 5 games for them. So we'll see how that pans out.
I guess it's all going to rely on the likes of your Brennan Johnsons, Caleb Navas's.
Missed a pen on the weekend.
But
thankfully, Caleb Navas has been unreal for them. I mean, he had
I don't know how he's ended up there.
It's crazy.
They've got some Felipe at the back's a serious player.
They have some players on paper who are amazing players.
I guess similar to your Chelsea, like you said, it's just too much. There's too many players everywhere that you how are you going to field?
It's a massive risk. It's a humongous risk. And look, I guess the fact that if they stay up, I mean, do they look at it as a win? Do they look at it as a good season? I think you have to. If you come up, I think staying up is always a good season. But at the same time, I think if they go down, they'll look at it really negatively and think, damn, that was not good.
You blow that team up and you have to restart again. So you got them staying up.
So I've got them in 17th. I've got them
you got them just out. I've got Leeds just sitting out at the moment. Okay.
17th or 18th. I can't remember. 17th or 16th.
Yeah, so you're going to find,
I think they can pick up a few points.
So fine there with Forest. Moving on to Leicester, who you've previously mentioned where you think of them. Currently in the bottom 3. They've continued to struggle, only on 29 points at the moment. And like we've mentioned before, they're going to require a big effort from your leaders, so your Madisons, your Tielemans.
Tielemans starting to find form.
At the right time.
Scoring some good goals recently.
What have you got?
On Leicester, I just think they have enough favourable fixtures in there to stay up. And it's one of those teams where I just look on paper and I think this team can't go down. They're not amazing around in all areas of the pitch, but players like Madison, Tielemans, I just think, even Vardy, he hasn't been at his best this year, but they got Patson Daka, Kelechi and Nacho.
You've got strikers.
These are all players who are who one are sort of starting to find a bit of form. But I mean, their defense has been woeful this season. Let's not get that confused. That's the reason they are where they are.
You lose the leaders back there. Key centre backs.
Try to bring in the big Aussie.
So
Harry Suter
on the bench now after all that big money move.
But that's not looking good. And I just think it's a lack of investment over a couple of years, replacing those players who have left. That has led to them where they are. I mean, you got to look back at their Prem season. Obviously, we're going back, but this team isn't too dissimilar with some of the best players in that team. So you lost your Mahrez, you lost your Kante. These players have gone and they never looked at replacing them because historically their recruitment's been really, really good, and that's sort of got them to where they are. But I think if Leicester go down this year, they have no one to blame but themselves. I think they kept Rodgers on too long. I mean, their losing streak was insane.
So, you were Rodgers definitely to go.
I think Rodgers is unbelievably overrated. I think he can do really good things with not so great teams. But he's one of those managers you just can't keep too long. I think he gets a little bit stale. I think his man management must be really, really good because it seems to be that he's really sort of favoured by the players.
I said the players are never.
It doesn't really seem that he lost the dressing room, for example.
Which is different these days.
But I mean, look, despite all this, I still think they'll pick up enough points to stay up. So I think the Everton game is absolutely crucial for both those teams. Again, they're playing at home, which doesn't probably mean that much because their defensive record is so shocking anyway.
Definitely.
But I just think Everton combined with Fulham away, who I think are sort of on the beach.
Fulham are one of those teams. Them, Brentford, and maybe
whoever else is in
there. like a Palace as well, and your Wolves. Those 4, if you get them, it's almost like playing a bottom half team in the start of the year.
Either they've secured their position or they've actually had a really good season, and they're sort of like, okay, we're not getting Europe, but it's been a really great season. So Fulham could be a massive one for them. That's probably one they're not expected to pick up points in.
Definitely.
But if they can get 1 point there, or even 3, I think they definitely secure safety.
I see the Everton game, the Fulham game as big, and then you've also got the West Ham final day.
Once again.
Like again,
what are the odds of this fixturing? Like I mean, what are the odds? Like, they don't do this deliberately, but this once again could come down to the last day for so many of these teams. And
it'd be exciting as a new
West Ham at home. West Ham have they've just been shocking this year across the board, finding a little bit of form, as I said, but. This could be
they could have a European final the week after that, so there might be a totally different team.
It might be like, we're safe. Yeah, let's rest a bunch of players.
I feel like
keep Rice fit.
With you, Leicester, it'd be not awful. It'd just be unforeseen to see them. Like you couldn't see them going down.
So you've got them staying up.
I've got them staying up as well. I've got them actually in 16. I've got them propelling.
So you think they get results at West Ham, at Everton?
They get at least
at home against them.
I reckon they get 7 points.
Yeah,
they get a draw in one of Fulham or West Ham, and they've
got Liverpool and Newcastle, obviously, which you look at and think, they're not.
Liverpool are pushing,
especially with their defense. You think they're not getting results there, but I would say
there's enough players there.
I think they minimum get 5.
Yeah,
minimum.
Have to,
which probably puts them in relegation, probably spots.
Yeah,
but I think there's enough upside there to say, I got them staying up.
Yeah, and. Again, there's enough players at it to do a job. I can't see them with those experienced guys missing out. So we got Leicester safe. Moving on to Everton. Now, it's a funny old one.
So
Everton.
we've both I've got them
down. I've got them going down.
I think we've got our one safe one. And
I've got them as second last, so not moving from where they are, staying 19th. Okay. 28 points at the moment. And I've got written down here, despite Sean Dyche arrival, the big results against Arsenal with a draw, Chelsea, they've just struggled.
Yeah.
And throughout the years, they're midfield control. They can't control games of football. They can't dictate games. Yeah. And when they're sitting back, their defence isn't good enough to propel teams out.
Yeah, I just think they're really lacking going forward.
Yeah.
Which has been sort of the case. You get Sean Dyche in. This isn't a surprise. They're not going to be playing really expansive football. They're going to be McNeil and Inshallah.
Right. It feels like time. Since Sean Dyche been there, it's big McNeil and Tarkowski basically.
Yeah, I mean Calvert-Lewin looked okay on the weekend. Yeah. He had a nice little finish, ruled offside, but look, Everton. It doesn't seem real to say they're going down. Like a club as big as they are historically. Yeah. It's pretty remarkable. But look. I just think pretty boring team. Have the fans are almost deserve it a little bit. I think they're a little bit
cocky.
Yeah, not a massive fan of Everton fans, but look, I don't have too much to say on them. I just think it's been a really dreadful season, and they're going to have to go in the championship. I don't know. They're going to lose a lot of players. I can't see DCL staying there. They've got Onana in the middle, who's a great player.
As I'm saying, there's been some shining lights this year. Like. You talk about midfield. Midfield actually being all right for them. I think it's a decent pickup. Onana in the midfield has been incredible. But then you look elsewhere and you think it's just been regression from other players in the field.
They lost Richarlison. You lose 15 goals. Yeah. You normally lose 15 goals when you get Richarlison.
Not this year. Let's look at that.
That's... Yeah, I mean...
And, you pace it with Neil Maupay. He's not a striker. He's a false nine in a...
Oh, Maupay deserves it. Everybody. Maupay deserves it all.
That's an argument.
But I'll never forget Burnley.
Yes, but I just... For me, it was Lampard left 4 games too late.
Yeah.
There was a turning point there where you could have... Sean Dyche been available all year, right?
Yeah.
All year. Yeah. After the first sort of 8 games, why didn't they make change? I think that's why the Everton fans are annoyed.
Lampard has a job right now. No one could convince me.
He's another case. I might get you back on one of these ones. Is the COVID era brought us the player managers, right? So your Ole's, your Arteta's, your Gerrard, and your Lampard. There's only one that succeeded because he's at the tutelage of Pep Guardiola. I'll let that sit.
Yeah,
but the 3 of them,
you look at
have
Villa,
ruined football clubs.
You look at Chelsea, and you look at Everton, and then who's the last? Ole.
Man United has gone for an awful counter-attacking team, the team that can actually play football, and they made 3, put 3 cup runs together. So
look, we'll get on to United. But
I just think it was way too late for Lampard. Everton could have stayed up if they got rid of Lampard at least 4 games earlier.
Yeah. You think that it's just a horribly run club. They sell Anthony Gordon for half the price he was valued in the summer.
Yeah.
I mean, they've put a lot of money into some really average players, like 40 million a Wobie. Like is
yeah.
I like Alex Wobie, but 40 mil.
That's to summarise it. He's a relegation type player.
Yeah, like they've still got Seamus Coleman in there. Like these guys are getting on. Like Lucas Dean left.
You got Godfrey playing right back. He's a centre back, and I know in some cases it works, but he's not agile enough to play a fullback position.
Decore hasn't lived up to what he sort of expected to do coming from Watford.
5 years ago he was good.
It's 3 or 4 years ago he was doing a job at Watford, and then he got the big money move to Everton or whatever. But it's been years and years of really poor recruitment, really poor sort of list management and like investment into the team, and really poor management choices too, which I think have led them to be in this position. And I almost think they deserve it.
I think you can say they were lucky not to go in last year and they didn't learn from their lessons. It was an emotional win. It wasn't anything else other than teams could not handle going to Goodison Park and playing. And I guess if they're going to stay up, it's going to be the home form. But
just on Goodison Park too.
Yeah,
it's like, I've seen all these massive, I think it's almost confirmed that they're putting hundreds of millions into redoing Goodison Park or moving the stadium. I forget which one it is. But I mean, I can't exactly see Everton bouncing back up from the championship either. Like, for them to be in the position they are with, I can only assume they're going to be in a lot of debt or something like that. Building such a big stadium like that, clubs really struggle to finance that. As we look at sort of Spurs, and even Arsenal's first years of the Emirates. Like, I just think that it could be a really tough few years for Everton to get back to the Prem, and
you could see a loss of manager.
Assuming they go down,
you could see a loss of ownership, and then a loss of a truckload of players, and you think. I guess the shining light's been Burnley, who've almost bounced back. I thought they'd be in championship purgatory for 15 years. I think they were not meant to come back up, but with an appointment like Vincent Kompany, who's changed it, that's what they need to do. If they do go down, sell a few players, but keep your core. And just get a
not
manager.
Even necessarily keep the core. I mean, look at Burnley. They sold Tarkovsky. They sold Ben Mee. They sold Nick Pope. They sold they were built off. Burnley were built off around their defense sort of system under Sean Dyche, obviously, and they weren't afraid to sort of strip that back, get a young manager in who's, looks rejuvenated, looks ready to go, has a bit of an aura about him being Vincent Kompany, like one of the sort of, looks to be one of the better player managers. And, I just think Everton need to start again, probably sell the club. I think that's probably number one. I think you can speak to the fans, they'll say the same thing. But the forecast is grim.
That's fair. And then finishing up.
Last place.
Southampton. All right, so... For me, I've been really impressed with the new manager and what he's done.
Do you know his name? I forgot his name.
Oh, he's a Spanish man, a younger manager, but I look at him as that's the future. So I'm not as worried about. Midway point in the season I was, because similar to Leicester, they've got rid of the older guys, all your guys who are leaders in the club, and they've grabbed all these young guys, which fair enough, it's worked in the past.
Their squad's looking good on paper. To be fair to them, I think they have a really nice.
In 4 years' time, if they're all there, it'll be an exciting team. But
that'll be the issue.
Now,
will they be all there as well? I mean, I can. You look at Brighton, they'll probably go and pick up
your Bella Kojabs or your Bazunos or something like that.
20 mil or something. 20 mil price tag, and look, they'll be a great player and a great system under De Zerbi at Brighton. But I just think that. Southampton, this has been coming for a few years, I think, under Hasenhüttl, who was doing a job there, but wasn't ever really getting them to move forward.
Yeah, I also at that point as well with Everton and Southampton, Neil Jones coming in, that was the most idiotic decision of all time.
It looks like that's cost them.
Because
those 8-week period, whatever it was.
6 games, when you get rid of Hasenhüttl, who... Don't get not the strongest manager, not the best manager, but he had a connection to the club. He had a connection to fans.
And he also did a job. He'd done this year in year, through the
COVID years, he held him together. And I thought
with very little investment, historically very little investment. Never big name signing Southampton yet. I mean, they have the likes of Theo Walcott up top. And they bought Adam Armstrong, who was supposed to be that sort of striker guy, but he could just never replicate his championship numbers. And as a result, they've just really struggled to get goals and.
I think it's that
Che Adams has struggled as well, and a
poor second year competitors, if you can say that. But I think that again, like Everton, the ownership basically has cost them the season. Those 6 weeks or so.
Really
Jones
weird, really strange appointment.
Who basically blamed the players for the whole thing, and didn't blame himself once. So the fans got rid of him, and then this new manager's come through, and he's done a good job. No, obviously little to no result. But the performance level, I
think they've been really unfortunate, to be honest. Southampton. There's been a couple of games where I've watched them and. I mean, they got a result against us.
They drew to us as well,
But it just feels like Southampton just haven't been able to score. Like they're playing a nicer brand now.
There's no end product.
They look reasonably solid defensively, to be honest, more so than previous times. But they just can't seem to
too little too late, basically.
Which is too little too late. Exactly right.
So do you want to just reiterate your three who are going down?
Tying in my relegation. So I've got Southampton in 20th.
Yep.
Everton in 19th, and then I've got Leeds in 18th.
Yeah.
Leicester in 17th and Forest in 16th. And then, look, above there, we'll see how that goes.
Sort of the mid-table. So I've got similar...
Leicester and Forest interchangeable.
Yeah, I think we can, sort of... That's where it sort of...
They were the main contenders.
Yeah, so I've got Southampton, Everton...
Oh, Chelsea 15th.
We'll get to the champions. I've got Southampton, Everton, I've got Forest, and then Leeds and Leicester just scrapping for those last two safety spots. As far as the relegation battle goes, but I guess a good year, not for these guys, but a good year to watch as a neutral. Those bottom half games kept the season interesting.
Especially when these teams are they're really struggling against each other, but they pull out results against big boys.
Oh yeah,
I've got it noted. Southampton games.
I've got it noted with every single small, like the bottom half teams. They've got results not against the smaller clubs, but the big top four teams.
Yeah, it's crazy how this always seems to happen.
Everton beat Arsenal. They drew to Chelsea. Don't
even talk about it.
Yeah, like they've gotten results everywhere. Top. We'll get to there. I guess got a top four race. European.
Well, I do want to touch on quickly who you've got in 7th, 6th, and 5th because top four race. Quickly say your 7th because I feel like our 6th will be the same. Well, in terms of the clubs.
I go 7th. I got Villa.
Oh, you got Villa. Really? Okay. Well, I've gone Brighton.
I've gone Brighton 6th.
Who's missing? Who have you got missing out?
I don't think Liverpool will go all the way.
Really? Okay, that's crazy.
And I got Tottenham.
Okay,
that's I haven't really many notes on Liverpool.
Okay.
But just the almost the pub test, the eye test.
I think the eye test is looking really good at the moment, to be honest. I think they're coming good.
I just think Tottenham get that fit. They just hang on to they just manage to do that. And I go, Brighton, and then I've got Villa.
Yeah. So I've got Brighton in 7th. I got Villa finishing 8th. Despite their miraculous sort of entry to the Emery era.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done some really, really good things with Villa. There's no one can deny that.
Yeah,
and you look at his track record, he's really capable of doing this with sort of,
everywhere he goes.
Sort of above average teams, but he can't really seem to do it at the very top. But credit to Emery, I mean, he's got them playing really well. Ollie Watkins is a striker reborn.
Yeah.
He set returns in something like each of his last 10 games and he's looking so deadly. Tyrone Mings playing really well.
Yeah.
And they just look across like John McGinn, Douglas Luiz, all these players are just looking so they're just looking really
and that's why I like.
They're looking like the players they were maybe 18 months ago, where they sort of
the players they bought rather than
exactly
what sort of occurred under. So like
Jacob Ramsey, really impressive young talent.
That's a future. So if they can keep a hold of these sort of players, that midfield three, the trio of them. Your Ramsey.
Well, you got Buendia running through there. You got a lot of players who are really capable of creating chances and with some decent end product too. You got Leon Bailey off the bench, and it's just
there's players there.
It's a squad that when they're in form, they look really good on paper. Yeah. I mean, under Gerrard, you looked at that team and you thought, how are they underperforming so much?
Yeah.
Yet they've. I mean, Emi Martinez in goal. They've got really good talent around the place, and it's just I think Villa are going to be looking really sort of scary in the next couple of years with a bit more investment here and there. And they've always sort of had that approach. They're trying to become that next step up to where they were 50 years ago, whatever. I mean, their owners are pretty vocal about wanting to invest.
Yep.
But look, I think it's been a great season for Villa. But unfortunately, I've got them just missing out.
Yeah, fair enough. I can see it. Just maybe it's I guess looking at the other side, the youthfulness.
Yeah.
That might cost them. They haven't been this, and they've propelled themselves out of nowhere. They were in the mid-table bunch.
I mean, I don't necessarily think that Europe will be the best thing for Villa next year, though. I think this team is capable of performing either really well in cup competitions or fielding a really good Premier League starting 11 every week because they have a bit of depth there.
Yeah,
that they can go on, they can kick on next year. I mean, I think the data suggests that they're currently 3rd or 4th since Emery's come over in terms of points.
It's been very impressive.
It's looking, the outlook for Villa fans compared to under Gerrard is.
It's 9 days, isn't it?
It is 100% 9 days. It's a 180-degree turn, and I'm sure those fans are thankful.
Yeah, the saviour has come in Emery. So you've got then.
I've got them in 8th.
An 8th, and you've
got Brighton 7th.
7th.
I think the top 6 is normal enough.
Yeah. So you've got the big boys returning, or most of the big boys other than Chelsea returning.
So I'll just touch on Brighton really quick in 7th for me, and you got them in 6th. I want to hear what. So you got them in 6th, yeah?
Yeah. So I got Tottenham in 5th, Brighton in 6th, and it was Villa in 7th. And
I want to hear your rationale behind Liverpool. But so. Yeah, Brighton have looked unbelievably good to watch under De Zerbi. Yeah. After Potter leaving and they lost their player of the year under Mark Cucurella, it's continually just investing really well. Yeah. Club seems so well run. It looks like a great time to be a fan. Yeah. And they're just like playing out of the skin at the moment. You've got Estupinian, like a great left back, one of the left backs of the season. Caicedo's doing a job, obviously. More than a job in DM.
He's a serious player.
Pascal Gross on the right. They just have all their players are just really consistent, really technically gifted players who can just all they play their role so well.
They do a job, but they do it with to the next level.
Yeah,
with fashion.
100%. So they do a job with flair.
Yeah, it's the Encisos, the Stupians,
Enciso's winning goal the other day. The fact they can bring that guy off the bench. I have no idea how much he costs, but just some random South American,
some Paraguayan kid who
comes in and scores one of the best goals I've seen.
One of the Premier League goals of the year, basically.
We haven't even spoken about Solly March and Matoma and
Evan Ferguson locked in for 4 years now.
Evan Ferguson and Danny Welbeck rotating through that striker spot has been really
Danny Welbeck has gone not being one of the big clubs. He's gone under the radar.
Danny Welbeck's been seriously underrated for years now.
He's done a great job.
His hold-up plays really well. He incorporates his teammates really well. Yeah. But as you said, Ferguson's the future. He scores goals. He can do the hold-up play. Yeah. He's a big boy. Yeah. He's a great player to sort of lead the line with players like Matoma and March on the flanks.
Technically gifted guys.
Really technically gifted. Get to the byline, whip it in. It's looking like a really good time.
If they can hold on to their players next year.
Obviously holding on has historically been an issue for them.
You hold on to most and you get 2 or 3 proper play,
2 or 3 more random
serious
South
players.
Americans.
And the next year's gonna be very tough to call because you expect other big clubs to come back into it. Yeah, 100%. But you put them in that top 4 battle next year for me.
But even on their own merit, Brighton have over exceeded where they were supposed to be.
100%. Yeah.
By tenfold.
10 points.
Regardless if they finish 10th next year or if they finish 5th next year. I think they just play with such a great style and they always look so threatening. I think it's just a great time to be a fan there.
Definitely.
Look, I've got them in European next year, so 7th place would be a great season for them. Yeah. Especially considering how good the top end are, which we'll touch on.
Yeah, definitely. So then we'll come to your 6th place.
My 6th place is. Let me just double check. I'm almost certainly got Spurs.
And you got.
I've got. Spurs.
Yeah, I've got Spurs. So Spurs for me, 5th.
Spursy, mate.
It's gotten beyond now just it being a joke. It just is a matter of fact that Spurs just are Spurs.
They sacked their caretaker manager. If you saw that. Whatever his name is, I think it was Conte's second.
Yeah, some second man in charge.
I was watching that Newcastle game, and I was actually in disbelief. I couldn't believe how easy Newcastle were cutting through their team. Every time they went forward, it felt like they scored. They basically did. But 20 minutes in to be a big club, with a $700 million. 700 million, I think less than that. A couple built stadium. Yeah. Like one of the best stadiums in the world. They're trying to build themselves as a big club, Spurs. But they just seem to continually fall back and just bottle it. They're not even bottling it.
It's just a matter of fact that they have a good year and they have a poor year, and they just sit from 4th to 7th.
But their good year won't even be good in terms of the schemes of.
That should be a good with this squad and with this era, the Levy era, if you want to call it that. I believe a 4th place is a good finish,
especially with the Prem at the quality it is now.
The top 2 are basically.
Don't take anything away from getting a Champions League spot in the Premier League because we've got some big clubs missing out.
Yeah,
but. I just think it's the manner in which Spurs go about it. They've had 2 serial winners come in now after Pochettino and have achieved little to nothing.
I guess the most important part of that, though, is they both ended their time with the club and said how it is almost impossible to win with this team because the mentality is not there. And it seems now nowadays it starts from the top. If you can't get it from the top,
the managers seem to be saying the same thing.
If Levy or whatever wears different owners. It starts on top. If they don't have a winning mentality and want to bring in talent and force improvement, whether it be stadium, whether it be infrastructure, the training ground. It seems that seems to be the biggest thing that drives improvement. And under this new Levy era, which seems to be coming to an end, it seems like the fans want him out. It just... I
just think it all started with Spurs when they sacked Pochettino in a pretty like debatable sort of circumstance. I mean, he'd taken them from such a mediocre club, having 10 managers in 11 years or something.
Tim Sherwood
and finally had a bit of time there. Got the players, he got the best out of players like Dele Alli. Harry Kane has obviously been great now for 10 years. But I just think that so many of the decisions around the club have been so questionable. I mean, spending 50 mil on Richarlison when their team looked like they needed 50 mil elsewhere, just to me is just sort of summarises, Levy trying to please the fans, bringing a renowned striker who's seriously underperformed this year. And it's just gone, it's just really sort of, 180 on them. And it's turned out to be really poor recruitment for them. And I think Spurs need a...
I think it's a player overhaul.
I think they need to prepare to lose Kane because it looks like Kane's leaving, which, by the way, will have detrimental impact on them as a club.
Because their system functions on... And I was going to build this. I think the future of Spurs is to blow up the team because this 5-back system does not seem to work. They bring in all these amazing fullbacks or wingbacks that just seem to...
Porro's looked all right. Perisic obviously on the left. But it's just like... The recruitment just doesn't seem to me to make any sense. They're signing some old players here. They signed Jed Spence... who's
down
seen.
Haven't seen the pitch. It's Dan Juma, who comes in for 10-minute spells each week and looks incredible, but can't get a start. And it's because you've got 5 guys at the back because you're protecting, like in Man United's case, Eric Dyer, who can't move. He's the most useless centre-back.
The recruitment's just not been in the right spots.
Instead of protecting him, go to a 2-back, 2 centre-backs and 2 full-backs and be more expansive because it just hasn't worked. I think it is going to take a year of just separating the team and bringing anyone together.
I'd be really interested in terms of what approach Levy goes with hiring a manager because, the experience winning sort of 2 or 3 year manager system approach hasn't really worked or hasn't worked at all, to be completely honest. And I just wonder if he thinks, he won't be liking it, but I wonder if he thinks go back to the drawing board, a couple $100 million investment. It looks like that's what's required
to fix them up,
to get them up.
The fans on
I can't imagine his
football.
pockets are loving it at the moment because he's been obviously having to invest a heap with the new stadium and
state of the art, great stadium, but they just can't perform it.
Obviously, players like Hillman's son have underperformed this year, but they've still got great talent around the pitch. If they can manage to keep hold of Kane, Son's there, Romero, who obviously I was taking a bit of the piss out of before, but he's a World Cup winning centre back.
Serious player.
They've got Kulusevski there, who on his day is amazing. Højbjerg can do a job. They've got players around the pitch. It just feels like they need a few more to sort of tighten up some areas. So another centre back definitely, maybe a bit of younger investment around the fullback region.
I think you just press reset and you go again.
I just think Spurs have got a really deep underlying issue there where it just... I mean, how you can have such a good squad on paper and not win anything for so long it just feels like there's another issue there.
Yeah, so I guess it's the question of does Levy stay around for next year or not, and we'll wait and see. I guess with that one there.
So 5th.
So that was my 5th and your 6th. So I reckon Spurs just hold in.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just have a quick look at the fixtures.
Yeah. See, again, I haven't quite looked at all of the 6-7 fixtures, but I just see that Brighton's of the world.
Look. They've got Liverpool away, and then they have a nice run. Yeah, that's right. I was looking at KFMA.
Yeah.
Rank 1600k. 1600.
Let them know.
1600. Let them know. 100k.
So your 5th then will be.
I've got Liverpool.
Who I've got sitting in 8th.
Who this is... I'm really surprised because Liverpool to me are looking like they're finally coming really good. I mean, Diogo Jota's come in, got a bit of a knock apparently, but I just think that they were lacking getting any return out of players like TAA, Robertson, and their defence, which still isn't great. They've at least sort of picked up... Oh, by the way, Klopp's playing that new system with the tucked-in fullbacks, which is looking like it's working really well for Trent.
Yeah, more futuristic.
He's finally sort of shaken it up a little bit. Yeah. Mo Salah's season has gone really under the radar in terms of his output is fantastic. Yeah. But because he set himself such high standards in the past,
it's hard to live up to that.
It's that's as a result of his own doing. Unfortunately, I mean, he's still been a fantastic player. 90 minutes each each week.
Yeah.
In and out. So you know what you're getting from players like Mo Salah. Darwin Núñez has come in, hasn't sort of hit the ground running, but once again, I think it's sort of been overshadowed by Haaland's great season.
Yeah, that's
being fair. That like striker, 100 million striker coming in from Benfica. A big burden there, but I think he's actually had good moments on the pitch. It's just his end product seems to be lacking a little bit.
Well, that takes time, and with the Premier League, the pace, the power, and the strength of it, like everyone says so. But it is clear to say that you need to have that because Haaland does have that. He has the pace. He's up to speed with the physicality of the game, and I just don't with Liverpool's defensive struggles.
I'm looking at their fixtures. I can't believe this.
The defensive struggles and their inability to just be on any day be rubbish. Yeah. I'm just going for the rest of the whole season as a whole. I think that they've got quite a favourable...
They've got it in them. They've got it in them.
They've got it in them just to, not to bottle it, but like just not do what they're supposed to do.
They've got it in them to, concede 2 or 3 really quick. Yeah. And that's it. The game's done. Like, I mean, they've got Spurs tonight or tomorrow, which is probably the...
I think that writes each
in terms of top 4, at least for both of them. That's a must win if they're trying to compete for the top 4 spot. Yeah. But I just look at they got Spurs, Fulham, Brentford, and then Leicester. The first 3 at home, and then they have a really nice finish. They got Villa and Southampton. Like, I just think those are all winnable games on paper, and I probably think they get results in at least 4 or 5 of them, which I think probably gets them the edge on.
Yeah, if you win at least.
So who do you think they lose to? If you got,
I just think Villa have got them.
So you think Villa away gets them?
I just think their system and
I think
the way
Villa need to be playing for Europe to even be in contention.
Again, like the relegation, that's where it all sort of comes up to it. But I think Villa's system.
You must think Tottenham get
and I think Tottenham they actually have to win it for Tottenham to do anything this year and be successful.
We'll come back and look at this. I'll be really impressed if you get the Spurs one right.
I just think
can't see them not winning against Fulham, Brentford, Leicester, and Southampton.
That's with the Leicester and Southampton, they're a given. And you look at the clubs around them. I think all clubs around them have
one of the biggest givens. I just think Fulham have taken their foot off the gas a little bit.
I just feel like
Brentford have been sort of renowned of taking an away scalp this year, so I wouldn't be surprised if they lose points there.
And maybe it's me, just not the sympathy, but I just love your Brentfords, your Brightons. I love how they.
You're a bit of a passion merchant.
I love how they have that system.
You love Ole.
Yeah. But seriously, the likes of Brentford and Villa, the way they play, is they almost play sometimes better than some of the top 4 teams, and they have. Like you said, the passion.
They can have really amazing one-off performances, but pretty frequently, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we're in the past.
Often
it'd be a 10th sort of finish. These teams are finishing 6, 7, 8. So
they're in contention. Yeah,
it could easily go the other way around, and you could see, like you said, Liverpool in 5th. But I just think Salah's doing it. Yeah, cool. Jota there's a lot relying on him to produce.
He's come good though recently. I mean, he scored his first goal in about 17 games the other day. But then since then, he scored 4 or 5, and he's getting himself involved. I just think they've sort of been able to, I guess, cover up some of their midfield woes, frustrations by playing this new inverted role. Trent's getting the ball a lot.
Trent looks 10
times
better.
He's so suited for that role in terms of his ability on both feet, his long ball passing. I think that's a really, really good move, and he'll probably play there going forward to sort of cover up his defensive incapabilities, I guess.
Shortcomings.
So, shortcomings. So, I think they pick up a lot of points from the end of the season. So, I've got them in 5th.
It's been their season, so it could easily become 5th, or it could be
and you got
8th because...
You got Spurs in 5th.
I've got Spurs in 5th. And I've got my passion merchants at 6 and 7. Because I guess with Liverpool, just finishing up on them, that... All year it's been great result and then poor result because
good patch of form.
And it all relies on that defensive midfielder and those 2 centre backs. Because despite what everyone says, Trent's had a poor season, but it's not his fault that they're shipping goals the way they are.
Yeah, I mean, they've had really a lot of instability around that right centre back role with Kanate and Matip and even Joe Gomez getting a run, who I don't think is Premier League ready.
Not good enough,
Premier League standard. If he
ever
will be that sort of standard centre back, I don't know. But yeah, you're right. For the most part of the season, to be in the position they are right now, players like Robertson and Trent have been underperforming. Yeah. Jordan Henderson seems sort of to be a fraction of his past self, because he at least used to feel like he offered that leadership stability.
He's moving to the middle, if you know.
And some, I guess, despite lacking maybe technically he felt like he had a lot of presence on the game, which that sort of seems to be phased out. They can't get a run with Thiago, but that's why I feel like this back end of the season, they're sort of picking up now, and I'm going to back them to stay consistent to the end of the season and pick up points.
And this Liverpool team under Klopp, you'd think they would, and just looking at this year and maybe more with just the love of what every other sort of 5, 6, or the 6 and 7 teams I've got going. I'm sort of just hoping they're getting, because they deserve. Liverpool don't really deserve European football.
100%. I couldn't agree more with that in terms of teams feeling like they deserve something. I feel like, Brentford and Brighton, Villa and Brighton, even Brentford a little bit.
Yeah.
They do, it feels like that, they deserve to get something tangible out of the season. But
it'd be shame.
We'll see how that goes, and I unfortunately don't think they will.
Yes. I guess quickly, because 3rd and 4th, I can almost see just staying as it is.
3rd and 4th seems a little bit interchangeable, and same as 1 and 2, to be honest. Well, 1 and 2 sort of seem...
It's starting to stretch.
4th and 1 and 2 seem to be separated.
Yes.
Yeah, like segmented into...
For me, just looking at it, I think Man United run out of battery. It's
okay. Well, I've got United 3rd. So I've got Newcastle 4th.
So we've got another way around. So this is interesting. Okay, so I just... looking at the team...
You know, backing United. Yeah, right.
It's just sort of... I feel like it's going to be a bit on the beach until you get to the FA Cup final, and the way Ten Hag's attacked the season.
I do forget about that. When's the final?
End of the season. So it's early June. So, and as a United fan, we get 2 wins for the next 6 or something, and we're basically 4th. And I think that's going to be the big thing. Get a win on the weekend.
Your run's not easy.
No, it's you got Chelsea, Villa in there.
Tough. You got Villa and Brighton in the next 4 days.
Yeah,
which is definitely like tougher in real life than maybe paper would make you think.
But I feel like Villa get a result.
But you got games in hand. You got 8 games in hand, I think. And I just think with Newcastle having, so that look, you guarantee they pick up 3 points at Southampton home, Leeds away, Leicester at home. But you probably think there's 9 points
because their home form is incredible.
And they're also in really good form. I mean, they just battered Spurs.
Yeah, so I think Newcastle, just because of their home form and they're playing some average teams at home, they just better United, because United without Varane, I think Shaw looks like, despite he played incredible in the final, he just looked tired and unfit. I think they've rushed players back because the team is so small and they've been in so many games that I feel like it's just sort of fizzling out towards the end. If I was the manager, I'd be saying, let's just win 2 out of these next 6, secure 4th, and let's put all our eggs in that FA Cup final basket. So that's the way I see it going.
And I think if you don't make top 4, I think it's down to your lack of defensive stability at the moment. I mean, we saw Maguire came in and gets bantered a little bit. But
there's options there. I think the fullback position's all right, but it's just the centre back availability it's so heightened. If you don't have Martinez or Varane or Shaw,
it's a massive drop off.
It's just night and day.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd rather Newcastle finish 3rd. Like the job Eddie Howe's done there in his first full season. They've done some really, really, really impressive recruitment, getting up Isaac. I mean, obviously they're putting money into it, but picking up Alexander Isaac, Sven Botman. They're even getting the best out of the players like Murphy and Longstaff. Callum Wilson, when he's fit, is insane. Willock is sort of starting to replicate that loan spell which got him the move. And they're sort of getting some depth now too. They've got Anthony Gordon on the bench, who's a 40 mil, 60 mil sort of player who is a young talent, a lot to show for it. They're just looking. Their defense is unbelievably solid. I mean, it sort of helps cover up for some of Nick Pope's sort of, I guess, shortcomings and moments of just awkwardness almost. Because Kieran Trippier is right, like player of the season at right back,
and the right back of the year for the Premier
League. That's what I mean. Team of the season, right back, 100%.
Great leadership.
Nailed it on. Bruno Guimaraes is a player. Works so well on that double pivot.
Joel Linton's
has been reinvented in that left wing, left midfield role, and he just looks so good. I mean, credit to Eddie Howe. Newcastle are looking good to watch. They have a really likable team. And I'm glad for their fan base who've obviously had to endure some tough times under
some serious purgatory.
Steve Bruce and whoever the old owner's name was, I forget his name, but Sports Direct.
Mike Ashley, was not it. But so you got him 4th.
But I just think that United, despite me for some reason not thinking they're as good as maybe they are, I just think guys like Bruno and Rashford, they just do a job so well. Like Bruno has his downsides in my mind, 100%. I think his sort of personality and like his tantrums, I guess, on the pitch really make him unlikable in a sense.
Yeah,
but he's really, really, really good.
Yeah. He just does what
you
he
get
has to
Varane
do,
back
right?
soon, I think.
Yeah.
That instantly makes your defense much, much better. Wan-Bissaka's looking okay this year. I still don't think he's a good enough right back to moving forward.
In the future, no, definitely not.
The fact that he's still in that sort of 3 best right back
conversation,
I think is. I mean, I don't know how he gets in above Trippier. I think there's 4 English right backs who are better than him.
Yeah, basically, that's how it works at the moment. You're definitely,
But yeah, I just think you have enough to pick up results for the rest of the season. I think you're finding a bit of form.
Fair enough, yeah. So we sort of got the third, fourth.
Yeah, third, fourth.
I think it's almost switchable. It depends how each team attacks the end of the season.
100%.
And then the title.
It's pretty inconsequential too.
It's both getting Europe. And then the title race.
And then I'll
let you go. I'll let you have the moment.
Despite being a massive, massive gooner, I love this club.
Yeah.
It's been a tough last 3 or 4 weeks.
Definitely.
And yeah, I've got them in second, obviously. I can't see any other way that City somehow inevitably do this every year.
I'm going to say that,
They just look so... They just go up a gear and they just look so good. I mean, Pep, he's renowned for overcomplicating in the Champions League, etc. But his man management and decision making in the Premier League is second to none. I mean, he will go down as one of the best managers ever, if not the best manager ever.
He's in the top 3 with your Wenger, your Alex Ferguson, and
he's definitely surpassed Wenger. He's definitely up there with Sir Alex.
Yeah.
But I mean, Arsenal. I don't want anyone to take away. I've seen so many people saying, "Oh, they bottled the league."
Yeah.
It's like the fact a team so young is even in contention against a City team like this with so little experience in this sort of final environment. It's I think we will learn so much, and another year under all these players we haven't had our best team on paper in 6 months. We've had players in and out constantly. Saliba to Rob Holding is a humongous drop off, despite I think Rob Holding not being as bad as people say he is.
Yep.
I just think it changes the way we play so much that it just has detrimental impact on our results. And our defense has been really poor recently, to be honest. But yep, I got them in second, and I'll let you touch on that.
Well, Arsenal's going to build it. I'm not one of those sort of one-eyed blah 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 Arsenal this that. I've loved watching Arsenal play. It's
been great to watch.
It's been one of the best teams to watch, and some of the play and the players involved this year. You talk about injuries. You've had no Jesus for the key part of the season. Got over that hurdle. The Saliba one, I think it's just tripped you guys up. And I think it can't be understated as a United fan, seeing the impact a defender can make on a team. Losing Saliba, the most important part of your
especially
season.
In a ball-playing team. Where it starts in the back. Like you need those guys who are really confident on the ball. And Rob Holding's pretty confident, but it's just like he doesn't have the same aura.
It's the aura thing, because when you're
has an impact.
When you're a DM, you have to drop in to help. You think cover this centre back, but with Saliba, I remember watching the first half of this, like one of the first few games of the season. It was maybe the first game at Bournemouth, and Saliba and Gabriel. I was thinking these guys are not.
Gabriel's had a fantastic season. I mean. I've been saying for a couple of years now how good I think Gabriel is. He used to always have that sort of mistake in him.
Yeah,
where he'd give away a pen or something like that. And he's had maybe a couple of those this year. But like, I used to always think those major mistakes in a minimal amount used to overshadow him as a player. Yeah. He's always been so good in the ball work. His playing out is really good. He's a great aerial threat in corners, and he's just really, really, really solid at the back. And offers a lot of leadership, I feel like, and he's definitely a rock in that team. Like you can't undervalue his importance of being selected week in, week out.
And I think you just can't, in general, you just can't undervalue the improvement and the process that Arsenal have gone on, because no way would anyone have them in the top 4 this year. Like going to start saying, you look at the team, it's like some of your teams of the past have just sort of like your Tottenham's underperformed because it's just not there yet. Yeah. It didn't seem there yet, but they've elevated themselves and they think this experience will be for the better, because next year they're going to be a titanic battle.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Liverpool's, your Arsenal's.
I think it's rival fans being jealous of our success this year, having a go at us for bottling the league, etc. I guarantee you, look, there'll be major disappointment, don't get me wrong. And the league's not done yet. Let's not say that. But it does feel as though it might be becoming out of our reach a lot. Yeah. But I think you let the dust settle a little bit. You get to sort of late July, early August, and you're thinking a bit more investment here and there, ideally. And you look back and think, that was a great season. Yeah. We can kick on now, move forward. We've got Champions League footy. We've been playing the Champions League for 7 years or 8 years.
But people don't think about it because they just think Arsenal. Football.
I mean, this is such a massive step for this club. Mikel's done a fantastic job. Credit to the owners who've really turned it around with the fans. I mean, the amount of people calling for Arteta to go back in the day, and no one will ever admit it. I was always Arteta in. But I really sort of value the fact they put him as a manager, and I guess he sort of reinstills that in the players.
Yeah,
instills
a great man management sort of play. The players are playing for him.
People love to laugh at him for the All or Nothing documentary, etc. But
that's not his choice, is it?
But he has been so impressive this year, and the way he speaks in sort of press conferences and he conducts himself on the sideline, it's everyone loved Wenger, but he didn't have that same sort of intensity on the sideline and commitment. It felt like because it was just a different sort of guy.
Yeah.
But it's really refreshing in a sense to have this guy who's we're getting results and he's still so passionate. We concede if we're 4-1 up or 4-0 up, we'll concede and he's still pissed off. And same as Ramsdale, like these guys, they're setting the standards so high in the dressing room, which I think is a necessity to do well. Like players like Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, these guys are all so young still.
Trying to get better.
Like Martinelli, I think is 20 still. Yeah. Saka's like 21, 22. I mean, these guys are so young. Yeah. Not many players have been spoken about in the same breadth of age as these guys now, except your really upper echelon sort of players like Messi, Ronaldo, etc.
The impact Saka's had this year has been remarkable. I think he's one of the reasons, like those centre-backs that Arsenal...
Him and Odegaard, player of the year contenders, 100%.
Yeah. And we had this discussion a few months back about how they were going. I think the fact that we're still talking about them in that same breadth with your likes of De Bruyne and Haaland for player of the year is really, really impressive. Yeah. So both us have Arsenal second, but... I think it shouldn't be underestimated. City are just a giant. They're at their peak form at the moment.
It's like Mourinho said a couple of years ago with United. Like finishing second to that City team is one of the biggest achievements you can have. I mean, don't get me wrong in terms of this club should be looking to move forward and finish first in the next few years or whatever. Yeah. But this City team is just...
They're a juggernaut.
They are so impressive. They're a remarkable team. And look, I mean... it just feels so inevitable every time they get on that pitch in this sort of stage of the season.
Match week 24 onwards, it's almost like good luck trying to score a goal.
Once you sort of get to like late March, March onwards, it just feels like he's had that little bit of experimentation in the middle of the year, seeing what's going to work, seeing like how it's going with Haaland. And I mean, even Haaland now is, the fact that he was getting negative media for not scoring in 2 games and saying, is he making his team worse? Not only has he scored 38 goals or whatever, 34 goals or whatever.
And broken that record,
And broken that record. His hold-up play is getting better too. 2 assists against Arsenal, like which cannot be understated. Like, I mean...
Turn assist for De Bruyne. Like.
I mean, like, they are just so good everywhere around the pitch. You have Julian Alvarez,
is he
a World Cup winning striker on the bench, who can come on and slap him 2 goals in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's so impressive and it's almost so sad that they just feel so hard to reach in terms of even recruitment.
There's just a big step.
Yeah. Like, I mean, they love to say how much money they haven't spent in recent years, but it's like it was 3 or 4 years, 3 years ago of $500 million to $1 billion investment to finally get it right. And now they've, couple $100 million here and there. Just because keeps amping it up, and they're just so good across the board.
When you're already that far up, that little step, it's not really little with Haaland, but that was the big signing of the summer. That's another step to take. The teams have to still catch up, and I think it's inevitable. Even next year will be exciting, I think, because a few more teams have developed. We've got better managers around the league, but I still think they're just one of those teams that's hard to beat. I guess if any hope is there for Arsenal, it's...
Who have City got?
City have got Champions League semi-final ties against Real Madrid.
So that's the biggest fixture, 100%. Is their Champions League fixtures.
If they lose, there's a momentum stop. If they overcommit, Pep and his mastermind ability to overcomplicate things.
The fixtures are really good, though. I mean,
they're home to relegation teams, basically.
They are. They face 2 of the teams we said, but then like 2 of the so they have Fulham away, but we've said so much that they're on the beach.
Yeah.
They have West Ham at home.
Who could be saved by that.
You think they win West Ham, Leeds and Everton easily,
And then by then is the
Chelsea at the moment. It's like they're playing at home. They're going to batter them.
Yeah,
you think?
Yeah.
Brighton away is probably their toughest fixture in the whole lot.
But by then is this?
Well, it depends. Yeah, if Brighton are in contention, then like they might come out and slap 2 or 3 past them. But
it just looks unlikely for us,
especially with us. I mean, our fixtures are tough. We have Chelsea at home, albeit Chelsea, but we have Newcastle away, Brighton at home, and if Forest are playing for their life, you never know, they could get a result at home against us.
Not Forest at home, a big.
And then look, you think probably Wolves away, Wolves at home is the easy one.
Yeah. But by then it could be a dead rubber.
But we already could be 6 or 7 points behind at that stage. So yeah, look, it's been a great season by us, but it's more of a reflection on how good City are rather than us dropping points.
Yeah,
is the way I look at it. Despite Twitter telling me otherwise.
That just about wraps it up here.
Yeah, it's been a good one.
It's been good. It's been
longer than anticipated. You got a game to go to.
Yeah, but it's nothing about great Prem chat won't hold me up for.
I told you I could do this for hours.
We'll try and get you back on for like a team
mate.
season.
We'll get a Premier League season review.
Yeah, season review.
Hopefully, I'll be in the UK.
Yeah. Well, I want to try. I'm getting the UK. I'm definitely try and get some content from the stadium tour. It's going to go do. So that's still to come. But yeah, we'll definitely get back on soon for some team of season reviews, some predictions for the future and some transfer roundups, but it's been good.
Hopefully this time next year I'll be predicting Arsenal
winning the league.
I mean, you won't even need to predict it. Hopefully we're 10 points clear. And
it's locked in, ready to go. Obviously, if you've listened, thanks for listening.
If anyone's still here by this stage, I'll be really impressed, Lames.
You won't like me saying Liverpool 8th. Thanks for listening, guys. Keep liking, sharing the videos.
Check out my Twitter.
And I'll see you guys soon, guys.